Hello, friends. Welcome back to Get Happy, Be Fit. It is no secret that I encourage everyone to go to therapy. It has been immensely helpful for me. I always learn a lot about myself and I gain a lot of clarity when it comes to my inner struggles and external reactions due to those internal struggles. I'm going to a new therapist now, and one of the first things she has had me work on is self-compassion. I have always struggled with beating myself up internally. In the past, before I started cultivating love for my body, I was always hypercritical about my body and I beat myself up all the time, like literally every second of the day. But I honestly do not do that anymore in relation to my body. I'll have moments here and there, but for the most part, at this point in my life, it's something I feel like I have control over. But I feel like if you're listening to this, you probably deal with some self-loathing and beating yourself up, especially over weight-related issues. So many of us do. And if you do it in regards to your body, you probably do it in regards to other aspects of your life as well. I honestly didn't realize at all how horrible I still was to myself until I started specifically paying attention to it. And when I did become aware of it, I started getting frustrated with myself for feeling those super negative things and for talking to myself so harshly when I knew that I shouldn't. So I had to have compassion towards myself for not having compassion towards myself. And I remember this happening a lot when I first started combating my feelings of insecurity and the hatred about the way that I looked. I knew logically that my worth had nothing to do with my weight. I believed it, but I didn't feel it. I knew logically that I shouldn't feel so bad about myself, but I still did. If you've listened to this podcast for any amount of time, you've heard me say over and over again that your worth has nothing to do with your weight, and you shouldn't be so hard on yourself, and you can find love for your body where you are. And I would wager that the vast majority of you believe that, or at least have a deep desire to believe that, but you still might struggle with feeling the opposite sometimes. And let's be honest, it is way easier to feel that way, to feel that worth and value when you're actually making some progress with your weight loss. It's easier to feel good about yourself, even if you're not at your ideal weight, when you feel like you're on your way there. It's much harder when you gain some weight back or lose some of the ground you feel like you've gained. But those are the times you need that self-compassion and self-love practice the most. I'm going through a workbook that my therapist gave me called the Mindful Self-Compassion Workbook. It has been so enlightening and so helpful. I highly recommend it. I'm not all the way through it yet because they want you to take your time going through the different steps of each chapter, but there is one specific step or element of self-compassion that I want to talk about today, and that is common humanity. Feeling bad about yourself can feel very isolating because it is a very internal thing. If you come from a family of people who can eat what they want and never gain weight, or you have a partner or spouse who never struggles with their weight, it's easy to feel like you're completely alone in your struggles to lose weight or to find love and respect for your body at a size you're maybe unhappy with. Or maybe you see people closer to the weight and size that you want to be and they feel bad about themselves, and that makes you feel even worse because if they feel bad about themselves, what must they be feeling about you? But 9.9 times out of 10, that person who feels bad about themselves is not looking at you thinking you look bad, and they would never want you to feel the way that they're feeling on the inside. If I've learned one thing from starting this podcast and hearing how it's helped others, it is that So many people feel this way and go through all of these things. You may look at someone and think, what? She feels that way about herself? That's ridiculous. She shouldn't feel that way. While that exact same person is looking at you thinking the exact same thing about you, that you should not feel that way about yourself. So many of us deal with these exact same struggles. It is so common to struggle to lose weight and to struggle to love your body, even when you want to and know that you should. I'm sure we all want to feel comfortable and amazing at every size, but getting there is a harder, longer journey for some of us. And even people who seem to have completely conquered those struggles will still deal with them sometimes. So when you start to get in any kind of self-loathing spiral when it comes to your weight loss journey, whether you're beating yourself up because you ate more than you wanted to, or completely went off your plan for weeks, or if you're struggling to love your body when you want to and know you should, but you're just not feeling it right now, acknowledge your feelings. Don't invalidate them by thinking you shouldn't feel that way. It's okay that you're feeling that way. So many people feel the exact same way. You are not alone in these feelings. There are literally millions of us. These are very common feelings and struggles. Think of what you would say to someone who was feeling that way about themselves, feeling that same way that you are feeling. And say those things that you would say to that person to yourself. Write them down, say it out loud, close your eyes and have a little heart-to-heart with yourself, however feels the most effective for you. But give yourself the love and encouragement that you would give someone else. This podcast is called Get Happy, Be Fit because happiness should always come before fitness. Even if we feel like we'd finally be happy if we got to a certain weight, being thin is not an integral element of happiness. Feeling good and doing good are. And you don't have to be thin to feel good or do good. You are not alone in your feelings. You are not alone in your struggles. Sometimes simply knowing that can help you have more compassion towards yourself. And being more compassionate to yourself can open you up to connecting with others and encouraging others, which leads to feeling good and doing good. And that is the foundation of a happy life. All right, that's all for today.